Dude. Man, it's great to see you guys on a Tuesday. Yeah. Another great challenge for us this week, man. Just a lot of respect for Coach Gannon and the way that, he's got his entire team going right now. That defense is rolling. They always present, issues for an offense, just all the different looks that they can give and, what they do in the back end, disguising coverages and, the guys that they have rushing the passer, the linebackers that they have. I mean, they're a really solid group. They're tough to prepare for, but we're excited for the challenge on a short week.
Speaking of their defense, when you were a rookie, you prepared for an 11-year veteran, Calais Campbell. Can you imagine you're still seeing him this many years later?
Yeah, man. Calais is, just the way that he's, first of all, the way that he's been able to take care of his body throughout the years. I have a lot of respect for him in doing that. What he's able to do on a football field is pretty incredible, and especially in what year is it, 18 now for him, something like that. He's continuing to play at such a high level, so a lot of respect for him.
Matt Hasselbeck was saying this morning that he actually looked forward to these Thursday games because it forced teams to maybe simplify what they're going to do on defense in the game planning. Curious your thoughts as a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I don't know if that's going to slow them down. Like I said before, Coach Gannon and just all those guys on that staff, a ton of respect for them and what they can do. And again, for, that defense to be able to, do what they do and be able to play various defenses, pressuring the quarterback the way that they do and mixing it up the way that they do. Again, it's impressive stuff, and we're just going to prepare and do the best that we can to put ourselves in a good position on Thursday night.
How have you seen this offense grow basically from week 1 to week 3? I mean, a lot of the numbers look a lot better the last couple of weeks than they did that first week.
Yeah, I think it's just continuing to know each other and to learn each other in the system and, watch the tape, be able to, learn from Sunday. What do we do, on Monday to get better from it, and continuing that process with each other. I think that's the biggest thing in communicating. The more that we communicate with each other, the more that we talk to the coaches about what we're seeing on the field and how we can just clean things up as a group. It's only going to continue to help us in the future, and we're going to continue to do that.
The run game numbers aren't where you guys want them yet, just in terms of the success. But how important is, for everything you want to do offensively, just the commitment you've shown and getting those carries?
Yeah, it's it's huge to be able to run the football in this system. We want to continue to be better, and we will be. We're going to continue to, and that's on me as well, being able to make the right checks and get us in the right play. But we're going to continue to get better and learn from, what we've been doing in the run game.
A lot of times offenses try to get the run game going, so it forces the defense to bring an extra defender down and makes the passing game better. You guys haven't had the strongest run defense, but because you're doing 12 and 21, you're getting a lot of stacked boxes, and the passing game's going well. So do you need an effective run game to have an effective pass game, or how do you see those two things kind of playing off each other?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Sometimes the run game isn't going to flourish because, you are stacking the box. And when they do play shell coverage and they want to give us a lighter box, maybe, some of those runs are going to be able to pop. So, again, it's just such a balancing act with, football in general, right? It's like if you want to try to load the box and stop the run, that might be an opportunity to throw the ball. So, that's a great point. And, yeah.
What have you noticed about Grey Zabel, how he handles himself?
Gray? He's great, man. He shows a lot of poise, I will say, out on the field during game day. Just the way that he communicates. I remember in the Pittsburgh game, in that loud stadium on third down, me being able to go up to the line and make a certain call, and him coming up to me like, hey, I got the call, but some of the guys didn't. Let's try to, somehow be able to clear that up and make it a little bit better. Like those are the kind of conversations that help a team grow and become more efficient as a whole. So he's been doing a great job of communicating, especially as a rookie. You don't see that much out of rookies, and he is, I'm not going to say he's wise beyond his years, but Gray is definitely a smart football player, and he's just going to continue to get better.
Did you ever ever find out what he said to Brian Bruzzi to get him to get that headbutt? Usually, you don't get the rookies drawing those penalties.
No, I've heard. I didn't hear what he said there. I've heard him say a couple things to some guys, and I admire the trash talk. I think Grey is, he's smart with it. He's not going to say anything that crosses the line, but he's a good trash talker, I will say.
The ability you have throwing to your left, have you kind of always had that, or how much do you kind of work on improving that?
I just work on it. I think I said it after the game, but I just work on it a ton during the off season, OTAs, training camp, and even during the season. I try to get as many reps full speed to the left as you can, because sometimes in practice, you want to jog or maybe not run full speed, and I think getting those full speed reps to be able to throw on the run, whether it's throwing to someone in front of you or maybe even behind you. So just getting all the reps, all the different reps that can come up in a game is the biggest thing for me.
Before you signed here, I imagine you had heard things about Seattle, Mike McDonald, at least maybe even asked some people before you signed. How much of that stuff that you were curious about or that you heard has proven accurate during your time here?
Yeah, I think one of the bigger things that I've realized is the locker room. I've a lot of guys, around the league who have been in Seattle talk about the locker room being, very energetic and having really good dudes. And, that's a credit, again, to Coach McDonald and obviously, John for getting the right guys in the locker room. But it's, the energy that everybody brings on a daily basis is infectious. And, that's only going to continue to grow as we continue to learn each other and grow as a team. So it's very exciting to be a part of this team, and kind of those things that people are saying, that people have said about Seattle are, I'm seeing why people say that.
Who are some of the guys whose energy is infectious?
I got Kobe Bryant's got some good energy. Kenneth Walker, just to name a couple.
Sam, even when the run game hasn't really been working the way you have wanted it to, have you seen the commitment to it open up things like deeper shots and whatnot down the field? Yeah, I think it comes back to the point made about kind of getting certain boxes versus different looks. If you're stacking the box and we got a run called, like, we're going to be able to target it and do things that we want to do in the run game. But again, that presents opportunities to be able to throw the football. So it's I think that's just kind of the point, is understanding what we need to do to target the run game and single high defenses, and then when teams want to put a shell on top of it, like, we're going to have opportunities to be able to throw the football even in those looks. But when we do get those looks and we have a run called, I think being able to take advantage of those is going to be crucial for us.
What do you think a wide receiver needs to be capable of or demonstrate to be considered a number one?
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of on the media to kind of put labels on guys and understanding who's a number one receiver. But in my opinion, I think we have 3, 4, 5. I think most of our guys can be really good receivers in this league. They are really good receivers in this league, and so I'm just going to continue to do my job to get the ball in their hands and let them be able to gain yards after the catch.
Not everyone's going to get a ton of targets every week, just the way
Right.
the games go. But what are some things Cooper Kupp does, even a day where he doesn't have big numbers, that really help you guys?
Yeah, I think the thing about Coop is he's just going to have a great attitude all the time, and I think it is a little thing that a lot of people don't notice, but it goes a long way. No matter what kind of day he has, catching the football, he's always going to have a great attitude, and on run plays, he's going to do his job every single time. Guys can count on that, and just like I said, just the attitude that he brings and the energy that he brings to an entire offense is, invaluable.
You talked about, sometimes needing to get to a better play at the line of scrimmage. Do you typically have, is there typically one alternative baked into Clint's play call, or do you have the option to audible to multiple things?
It varies. It varies based on certain calls and certain looks that we get, but we like to keep the defense on their toes.
Sam, thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.